mentioned Congressman Massey has signed on. Can you talk a little bit more about conversations you've had with Republicans since filing this new resolution and what the arguments are?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of Republicans that are who voted no, who I think are open to reconsidering their vote. I think many were surprised about what happened over the weekend, and they're deeply concerned. They're hearing from their constituents. We're all hearing from our constituents. And I would just also say that, for those who, think that President Trump could do no wrong, let's have this debate and go on record, and vote accordingly. I mean, one of the things we're arguing here is that Congress has a constitutional responsibility to debate and to vote on these issues. If you want to vote to authorize another war, you can vote with Trump. We have deep concerns about that. Obviously, the Senate does too. A majority of the Senate is on record expressing their deep concerns. So, but I think in the coming days, especially when people go home this weekend, they're going to hear more and more from their constituents. Go ahead. Yeah.
Without naming any individuals, I've had multiple conversations with veterans of our last two forever wars in the Republican Party who are specifically troubled. I think this is an important difference. We can debate the decision to capture Maduro. On that Saturday morning, the stunning and unprecedented nature by the president to turn around and point to Rubio and Hegseth or some combination thereof and say, they or we are running Venezuela, then to double down on it later that day and then triple down on it yesterday, that's an important distinction that, again, we can debate the initial action. I think it was unconstitutional and incorrect. But the concern about extending this into another forever war is where I think there's real opportunity, especially for those that have been on the receiving end of really shitty foreign policy in the last two forever wars, regardless of party, to say this is where we're going to draw the line. And I think I really am optimistic that we'll see more of folks speak up on that in that regard.